All right, so what's up, guys? So welcome
Oh, oh, ah.
So look who came crawling back, guys.
Nah, what can I say? Your Legends contract was too much to refuse.
Hey, I'm glad you came back, but we still don't have health care.
Well, you can't win them all.
What we do here is go back.
Welcome back to Best Pro Wrestling Commentary, commentating on the latest and greatest in the world of professional wrestling. So, we are here tonight after watching Monday Night Raw. And just off the top of your head, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, you know what? Monday Night Raw, this is one thing that I've accepted, and I'm glad to see you back, because I know they've been out there asking about you, and I'm glad you've been doing your marketing and whatnot, but it's glad to have you here, because it was a little different without you. I don't know, one thing I got to say, Junior, and I don't know, you can give me your opinion, you can tell them out there your opinion, but I really think that WWE is never going to change. I think it's the corporate company, and it was nice, that little swerve that Shane McMahon gave us at WrestleMania, making us think that he was going to control Raw, which he actually has controlled Raw. WWE, if you're a loser, you're a winner, unless you're Dolph Ziggler or Zack Ryder.
Okay, but you gotta admit, the last 2 weeks of Raw have been better than the previous weeks of Raw prior to WrestleMania.
Well, maybe because Shane McMahon is at the helm. Yes, I'll agree with you. Yeah, totally.
And I mean, you got some call-ups from NXT. Saw Enzo and Cass are up. Apollo Crews. Actually, I'm kind of interested in him in the sense that I thought he needed at least some more time in NXT. So I am kind of Apollo Crews.
Apollo Crews. You know what? I don't know. I think the guy's a wonderful superstar. Obviously, he's an athlete. He's very flexible for
big man.
For a big man. So I'm not surprised, but I think you did make a comment about his mic skills. We'll see where that takes him.
Yeah, we'll see if he listened to Scott Hall. If those who remember the Breaking Ground episode where Scott Hall kind of had to school him on mic skills. So, and what did you think about the match of the night? I would say AJ versus Sami Zayn.
You know what? I think that was an awesome match, and I think that was another swerve because I was thinking the same thing that maybe a lot of you guys were thinking, that it was going to turn into a triple threat, that KO was going to get back into the arena somehow. But it wasn't. He kind of, in a sense, put over AJ, which you can't do that because he's already over. But it was nice, and I think you said that it made the story bigger.
Yeah, and then, because how many times have you seen someone at the beginning of Raw get kicked out of the arena only to come back by the main event? So I was just, honestly, I'm shocked that he didn't come back, because we've seen that so many times, that wrestling cliche of someone getting kicked out, someone coming back. So
well, we just saw it a few weeks ago when Roman Reigns got kicked out and he comes back and attacks Triple H with the limo. Which was god-awful acting.
Or when Roman Reigns got beat up, taken out on the stretch in the Royal Rumble. And now, who didn't know he was going to come back at the end? I mean, that was like no intrigue, no suspense whatsoever.
So what did you think about the women's match with Charlotte? She's losing, and Ric Flair. Dr. Phil came out, and I guess we can get to that segment in a minute. But what did you think about the women's match?
I liked it. I thought it was a good match. Was kind of wishing Natalya would have won. But I figured as long as Ric Flair's at ringside, he says himself, he's the dirtiest player in the game, so there's nothing shocking about the fact he's going to interfere in a match.
Yeah, that's true, and I agree with you. But do you like the build-up? I mean, do you think Natalya is going to go anywhere with the storyline? Are they finally saying, well, let's give Natalya something to do since she deserves it?
I mean, she's a former Divas champ, or was it the women's? Because it was back when they were still split, so I can't remember which one she was, but she has been champion before, but it's been a long time since she's been champion.
Right, with the butterfly belt. Will she ever get this WWE championship, women's championship belt?
I believe so. I would say for a short time, maybe hold it for a month or two, and then.
You think they're setting that up for SummerSlam, or that's just?
Honestly, now that you just pop like Natalya versus Sasha, or that'd be an awesome match versus Becky. I mean, they all can wrestle. They're all real wrestlers, so.
Because it seems like Paige is taking a back seat. I don't know if she was injured previously, but then she came back, and it's just like now she's disappeared again. Sasha Banks, obviously, she wasn't even on the show today, so that's what I'm kind of wondering. Are they setting something up with her?
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Natalya wins the belt, but doesn't hold it any longer till like Mania. That wouldn't surprise me, unless like you said, so you have Becky Lynch, Sasha. I think Paige is going to come back. Now I don't know, like Bayley, I'm not sure when. I don't want to say her name. I don't know. She still has unfinished business in NXT.
Hey, we want some Bayley.
I'm just trying to think who else, because Brie Bella, as they announced, she's retired. I don't know if Nikki Bella's coming back. Like Naomi, much as I used to defend her, she can wrestle, but she's had every opportunity to get her mic skills, get the crowd involved, but she just can't. She's
I think she keeps it too real. I think she's too authentic. That she doesn't become a character. I think she's just herself, and I think that no one can relate to that in a sense. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
What is she like? Would you say she's a female Shelton Benjamin?
Yeah, she's very athletic. She's a great wrestler, but I think in the mic skills, she doesn't know how to create a character for herself. She's got a great look. She's great in-ring performance. Now, moving on to Dr. Phil, they had him on there. At first, I was kind of puzzled. I said, why would you have Dr. Phil? The people who watch him are probably older women, and they're not going to be watching a primetime, live wrestling event. So what were your thoughts on Dr. Phil being there?
Yeah, I was puzzled too, I'll be honest. But that first segment with him and Charlotte and Ric Flair, that was pretty funny. I gotta give it to him. That was pretty funny. And his other segment with R-Truth and Goldust, that was pretty funny. Even though he didn't say anything, I thought it was pretty funny. But back to with this whole Charlotte thing, I did like that. Maybe that's like maybe they're doing that slowly, planting the seed about her like not being able to do anything without her dad at ringside.
They finally kicked Ric Flair to the curb and sending him to the old folks home where he belongs.
Hey. Ric Flair's always has a place in WWE. Woo! The only thing with that is, because I was telling you, as much as it looks like obviously she's riding her dad's, she's capitalizing on his fame.
She even has the freaking, the Flair gown, which I love. And it's surprising that wrestlers don't do that more often.
The gown?
Yeah.
Yeah. But think about it. How was she before Ric Flair started accompanying her to ringside, and how is she now?
Well, she was a face and people loved her at NXT. I think I enjoyed her wrestling more at NXT than I do now, because now it's just kind of like you don't deserve it and it's your dad. And I get the storyline and it works, but can it also taint yourself as a wrestler?
No, but this works as a heel. Now, if she was still a face and had her dad all the time, that wouldn't look good, but as a heel, like she's playing into that character of using any method to win, dirty playing, like cheating, I think that works as a heel. And then maybe once she gets rid of her dad or like tells him I can do this on my own, then that'll help her probably. I don't know, I just think that's better for her
I don't
character.
see that happening, because I think Ric Flair would do anything to be in the limelight. So
you think so?
I think he'll do anything to still be within WWE. He doesn't know when.
I mean, he's got a Legends deal.
Well, yeah, he's got a Legends deal, but deal with it, and we'll see you when you need an autograph or something.
Dang, this man, he just typical. The
only Rick that I'm kind of big on right now is Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead.
Okay, well, that was.
Who got killed that Sunday? I don't know. Leave a comment. So moving on, what do you think about this main event with Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt? I mean, did that make any sense at all to you? Is that just to keep people from booing Roman Reigns? And this is what I think about the booing Roman Reigns, and you can tell me your feedback on that. They're booing Roman Reigns because it's kind of punishment for the WWE killing Sting's legacy.
What in the world? Like, Sting's happy. Yeah. Sting's made a lot of money in WWE.
I don't know.
Granted, I wish
money,
you would.
Yeah, but
I wish you would have won the title. I mean, they do talk eloquently about how his career and everything. And he in the Hall of Fame, he even got to mention Joker Sting.
Well, that's because DVDs sell, and if the icon's there, they're gonna want to buy the network. But what are they doing for him as his career into WWE, which has been long, awaited?
He beat the Big Show.
Wow.
On Raw.
Really, the Big Show?
Okay, multiple champion.
The Big Show will never have a Battle Royal statue named after.
Okay, but he's multiple champion, WCW champion. The guy's, I mean, he's been a fixture in WWE for years since Clinton was president. So I mean, actually, I kind of like the new Cesaro, the whole suit, like ripping off the suit, and
got like a James Bond thing. I thought it was more like a Jason Statham, but then I saw the Bond logo in the background.
Oh yeah, I didn't even get that, but yeah, you're right. I mean, I think Cesaro is on his way back up because he already had momentum before he got injured. So only thing I feel bad for Tyson Kidd because he was also finally starting to, after all these years, finally starting to gain some momentum.
Oh yeah,
get some popularity with the fans.
He had his cat on his shirt, and he was doing his thing. And now it seems like Natalya is working, and they're giving her more gigs to kind of help out with the family, which is opposite of what they were doing with. Similar to what they were doing with Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan. So it's kind of weird that Daniel Bryan and Brie are gone now. It's just like, I closed my eyes for a second and the moment passed.
I hate that because, I miss Daniel Bryan. I'll miss his wrestling. While he lasted, he was great. He'll probably be in the Hall of Fame one day.
And they're definitely milking the WWE network, like the 24-hour Daniel Bryan segment, which I saw. I thought it was really good. But, I think they're milking that, don't you think?
Why? He's a big name. Well, look what they did even after CM Punk's
they milked. Yeah. And then, you know what? They'll probably do another CM Punk special, like relive CM Punk's rivalry with John Cena once he does his debut for the UFC. So we'll see where that goes. And speaking of the UFC, I'm very disappointed about DC getting hurt, not being able to defend his title against Jon Jones, which I think is punishment for him getting arrested.
What was he arrested for again?
He was yelling at cops and basically, allegedly yelling at cops and allegedly speeding and drag racing and basically breaking his probation. So DC got injured. This is just my theory that they're punishing him, but you know.
And when is the next UFC pay-per-view?
Next UFC pay-per-view that's coming up in July, and that's going to be the big one.
Although I'm wondering if it's going to come down to Dudley's versus Enzo and Cass for the number one contendership. Although I'm thinking that's what it's going to come down to because that's they've already had 2 confrontations.
So explain to us about this contendership. I mean, I know you know a little bit more about it. So what's the point of it?
Because the winner of the tournament faces the New Day at Payback. So we already...
And the New Day is sponsoring it with their bootios to make sure you're not...
Booty. But they're, but I mean, I'm thinking that's what's going to happen. It's going to come down to Enzo and Cass versus the Dudley Boys, which I think is going to be a great match in and of itself. I'm just curious as to who would win that.
But I've seen the Vaudevillains on NXT, and I like their gimmick, and they're actually pretty good wrestlers. And they're a throwback to back in the day when it was like, you know, bare knuckle.
The original wrestling.
Man versus man and being more manly in the mustache. So I think they would do transition very well in the main roster.
That's what I'm saying. I want on SmackDown they're going to be on, so I want to see how they do. But the thing about them, because honestly, it's funny. Like one night when I was watching NXT, the next day at work, I kept humming their opening because that it's very catchy. Yeah. They have a very that step right up. The guy doing the announcing and stuff.
Got talent over here.
Well, you know, but I don't like to spread it out too thick, but. So, in closing, what would you give Raw? What grade?
I would say from a scale of 1 to 10, it was probably, I would say it was about an 8. I mean, I paid attention to the entire deal, where, you know, the like Junior said, some of the Raws from back 2 weeks prior, it was kind of like, pointless. But it was good. Obviously, New Day came out, they entertained us as always. They were hilarious, so that was wonderful. The main event wasn't bad. I didn't understand it. I don't know where they're going with it, other than not doing Roman Reigns.
But you see, Bray Wyatt got. I mean, the crowd. I mean, he went. He was well over the. I don't know. It says unfortunately that's gonna anyone that they pair with Reigns is gonna get the cheers. Anyone they have against Reigns, because I guarantee you at Payback, AJ Styles versus Reigns, AJ Styles will be cheered like crazy. Roman Reigns will be booed out the building.
Well, they just need to go ahead and finish that deal. Learn from the John Cena situation, the CM Punk situation, and go ahead and turn Roman Reigns heel. You know, Dwayne Johnson, I'm pretty sure he knows that. He was booed as a face when he was rocking Maivia. And look how great he's became since he allowed himself to turn.
Well, you know, CM Punk was never like a major face that got booed.
No, but what I'm saying is that the corporate wheel, the giant, you know, neglected to do what the fans really wanted is what I'm saying. So let's learn from that, because the fans right now are not behind Roman Reigns as the face of the company. Maybe as a heel they'll get behind him. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, true. I mean, the way it's kind of different than how we grew up when we were little kids. Like there were pretty clear lines between good guys and bad guys.
Yeah.
Crowd cheered the good guys. They booed the bad guys.
And what do you think about his whole thing about I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm the guy? It's like he's trying to
get a catchphrase going.
No one's gonna do that. You're not Enzo.
And of course, tonight's Raw was the debut of the Bullet Club, which I'm actually glad they did it tonight, because with all the debuts last week, that would have taken away from it. So I like this angle. They made it look like, honestly, it kind of reminded me of when Scott Hall came into WWE, WCW. Like, they had that look of being outsiders.
The outsiders. Yeah, it really did. And it seems like whenever they do that, they're like, hey, wear jeans and boots and just a regular shirt and show your muscles. And that makes it look almost like, oh, man, someone jumped the barricade. They're not supposed to be this. It adds that realism. But, yeah, you're right.
And then, honestly, and tell me, I want to call Luke Gallows and ask him, where did you find the Fountain of Youth? I kid you not. From the days when he was in Punk's Straight Edge Society, does he not look like he aged backwards? Or that he's gotten younger since then?
Well, yeah, and for those viewers that forgot, Luke Gallows, the character he used to play was Festus, among a few others with CM Punk and the Straight Edge Society. So, yeah, when he played Festus, I guess he was...
Chubby,
He had, hair in the back, but he was kind of balding up front, so he looked a little older. I want to say...
I don't know if it's because he shaved it all off that makes him look better. Or...
I think so. He's got that full beard, I mean, if you don't got it out top, you're going to grow out that beard.
Yeah.
So... I think TNA was good for him. I think, Japan Pro Wrestling was good
getting
for
away
him.
from WWE for a while.
And you actually had an interesting comment. You said that you might think that maybe Japan Pro Wrestling is working with WWE.
Well, because they mentioned like when they came out, JBL was like, "Oh, these guys were tag team champions in New Japan Pro Wrestling." Like generally, companies don't mention each other because that's promotion. Like how often? I can only think about 5. Like I can count on one hand the number of times back in the Monday Night Wars that WWE mentioned WCW.
5 times. Booker T.
But seriously, like it's just not common because you don't want to.
No,
you're not going to give your competition free publicity.
And what's funny is that because JBL, he'll say, AJ Styles has been all over the world. So as Sami Zayn, he said, but none of those titles matter. The one that matters is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
But then again, that is he is the heel commentator, so
right.
He would say that.
Yeah, but then they mention New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yeah. I mean, don't ever mention TNA or Lucha Underground. But and I think Jeff Jarrett, he had talks with Lucha Underground to see if they could work something. It didn't happen. So
like I told you, I did hear rumors that WWE officials talked to. It was on LordsOfPain.net that was the rumor, just the rumor that there was talks between the two. So I don't know what kind of deal that could.
Look at all these rumors surround me every day.
So to be fair, I don't think I'm interested to see how the Miz would have done had The Rock not have been involved. But and the two-edged sword, The Rock brought a lot of interest to that WrestleMania.
Yeah, well, see, what's interesting about The Miz is that he's been one of those few superstars that's been able to stay there for over a decade, and who has great promos, who has great charisma, who knows how to work the crowd, who can put good matches.
And he's got the talent, and I think Seth Rollins has this talent.
Yeah.
The talent of being a great weasel, a great bad guy. Because some people just honestly like Rollins. I boo him not because I dislike him, because I think he's like such a weasel. Like you want to see his character go down because he always finds a way to weasel out of every situation.
Right, but it doesn't make you hate him like Roman Reigns. So like I agree with you.
The Miz, he's a good weasel. He plays that role very well.
Oh yeah, and we love weasels.
Yeah, Bobby the Weasel Heenan.
There you go.
The greatest of all time.
So there you go, guys. You guys got any comments? Of course, Junior's back. Great to see him back, and hopefully he'll put another video out there. I think someone commented on one of his Spanish singing videos, and they made a request, so I know he's working on that. So I guess we'll go ahead and end it there.
Great to be back. And I don't know. I'm at a loss. It's been so long, I forgot how to end this.
It's phenomenal. Best pro wrestling commentary with Roman Pearson Jr. We'll see you guys again.
Oh, yeah.
Keep wrestling, people. Wrestle your girlfriends. Girlfriends.
Okay.